So Chansey here into Dewgong, we've seen it once already. Beautiful matchup for the Dewgong. This opponent's going for Hyper Beam. Not even a Hyper Beam is going to save Chansey in this situation. What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Ox here with another video. If you're new to the channel, we do upload Pokemon Go content mostly related to PvP. And if you're a returning subscriber like Kevin Shu, thank you for the support. In today's video, we are taking a look at some battles in the Kanto Cup. The team being featured in this video consists of Alolan Marowak in the lead, Dewgong operating as a safe switch, and Pidgeot in the back. Now, all three of these Pokemon do have a legacy move, so definitely not the most accessible team. These three Pokemon are very strong for this particular meta. They also have some pretty good play in the Open Great League, so if you build them for the Kanto Cup, you'll definitely be able to use them in other leagues as well. The investment is worth it, and there is a glaring weakness on this team, of course. Looking at these three Pokemon, you pretty much risk being swept by an Alolan Graveler. Something like Lapras is also a bit challenging, depending on the moveset. With Water Gun, it is going to be pretty bad in the lead. If it safe switches as a Water Gun Lapras, Pidgeot handles that pretty well. And then with Ice Shard, you have some decisions to make, staying in with Marowak in the lead. Dewgong kind of has no play against the Lapras whatsoever, Water Gun or Ice Shard, so that is a bit problematic. But despite the weaknesses that appear to be on this team, we did manage to go on a very solid run with this team, which actually brought us back onto the leaderboard at 3284 rating. So we are back at number 420 as far as the battles go on this channel. I'm not really battling too much in the past 3 weeks. I think I battled maybe 4 days out of those 3 weeks, so I'm definitely taking it easy at this point in the season. Don't really care to push for the leaderboard, don't really care if I tank. So if you guys want to submit battles, now is the best time of the season, because I am definitely looking to shoutcast as many sets as I possibly can. With that said, we have a pretty solid run of battles in this video. Could have actually been a 10-0, but once again, we do make some misplays, and of course, I'm going to include those in the video right here. So if you guys enjoy this type of content, please make sure you smash that like button to help the channel grow. Leave a comment in the comment section down below. And without any further ado, let's jump into the first battle right now. So it has been a while since the last time I played in the Kanto Cup. As a result of that, some rust is expected, and it takes me a few battles to get reaccustomed to the meta here. So in these first couple of battles, there are a few misplays, I would think. Mew into Marowak right here, not a good lead, so I do swap out into the Dewgong, expecting the Wild Charge here. I'm going to shield it up, and then the opponent will likely swap out, and they come in with Alolan Mux. So this is a pretty good matchup for Dewgong here. I am going to throw the Icy Wind, but we did take quite a bit of damage from the Shadow Claw, so it's not the greatest position to be in right now. I am hoping we could take Switch because we are already down one shield, and I would ideally like to get that Pidgeot aligned onto the Mew. So I throw the Icy Wind right here. They are, however, going to get to another Dark Pulse, so I have a decision to make. Do I want to shield this up, go down 2 shields? I decide against it. Going to come in with the Pidgeot, get through that Gust, and see what they want to come in with. Now, they come back in with Mew, which tells me that they probably are very weak to Pidgeot in the back, because Shadow Claw, of course, is doing 0 damage to us. Wild Charge does hurt, but it's going to debuff, so that forces them to swap out into the Shadow Machamp, so it is that fighting type. I'm going to throw the Feather Dance here, and I'm going to try and catch the Rock Slide onto the Marowak, which we are able to do. Now, you may be asking, is this the correct play? I figured in the moment it probably was, but I need to get to this Bone Club right here. I actually didn't even click it. Not sure why, but I don't know. I figured maybe I needed to get the shield there. Obviously, I have any chance of winning because this Feather Dance is going to go through here. It's not going to be enough to KO. It's going to get the shield, of course, but even with the attack debuff, Wild Charge should be enough to knock us out from this range. So we're going to lose this game. If I was able to cut that Bone Club there, we definitely could have won the game because we would have likely got the shield right there. But it is what it is. We lose that game. 0-1 to start off this set right here. First battle with the team, still learning things. And this right here is a horrible lead to see for Alolan Marowak. So I should be swapping out immediately. Don't even know why I threw those Fire Spins. Just giving this Kangaskhan some free farm right here. This is going to be a power-up punch, it looks like. And indeed it is. The attack increases for the Kangaskhan, but we're going to throw the Icy Wind, which will debuff the attack. So things are balancing out right here. The Kangaskhan seems to be content just going straight Power Up Punch, and they're actually staying in this match, which was a little bit surprising. I got a little bit greedy there, hoping I could farm down, not able to. I know I will survive the Power Up Punch, so not a big deal. We are going to have just about 2 Icy Winds ready to go here, and because it's an Alolan Muck, I can't really swap out here, right, because it does hard counter the Marowak, so I just had to let the Dewgong go down here and hope that there's something in the back somewhere that this Marowak can actually handle, because so far we've seen 2 hard counters, and there is a 3rd hard counter for the Alolan Marowak. That is a Waterfall Gyarados. So things are not looking good here, going for the Feather Dance, expecting the shield, which we do get, but these waterfalls are really starting to add up. I'm going to shield this Aqua Tail here, hoping I could outpace to the Feather Dance, but of course we cannot. So I probably could have survived this, but I wasn't sure, so I did shield. In hindsight, I think we could have just barely survived. It would have been close, but I do come in with the Marowak here to catch the Dark Pulse. Was hoping it wouldn't do that much damage so that they would be forced to throw another move, but of course it does a lot. And although we do have that Feather Dance ready to go on the Pidgeot, we are going to lose CMP. We actually had Brave Bird even, but it is in Feather Dance range. It does lose CMP, so we end up losing that game. And we're off to an 0-2 start in this video, showcasing our climb back onto the leaderboard. Obviously going through some rough times here, but that was a triple hard counter line to our lead, and we still almost won. So I figured this team might actually have some play here, because these games have been very close despite getting hard countered for the most part. And in this game, we're actually hard countering the opponents instead. So we win the lead, they swap out to Lickitung. We bring in one of the most beautiful walls to just pretty much destroy Lickitung right here. It is the Pidgeot. And I mean, I say destroy, it's not really destroying. I am going for Feather Dance though instead of Brave Bird, because there isn't really a need to go for Brave Bird. I win this comfortably just going straight Feather Dance. The opponent does decide to swap out here at some point. There it is into the Chansey. So I know Chansey's not going to get to a move very quickly, so I build up to the Brave Bird before swapping out into Dewgong here, which of course is another solid answer to the Chansey right here. You can see Psychic isn't doing too much, and that is before the Icy Wind comes through. These Icy Winds are about to stack up right here. And I have sped this up, of course, because nobody wants to watch this matchup right here. But what is important to note is that I want to ensure that I'm always close to 2 Icy Winds in case they do swap out. I want to have some residual energy there just to be able to threaten the opponent when they come back in. So in this case, here comes the Lickitung. Not expecting a power up here, so I do in fact let this go through. It's only a body slam, and we're going to get off this Icy Wind here, which is going to knock out the Lickitung. The Hypno opponent doesn't want the smoke. We win our first battle of the set. We are 1-2, hopping into the next match. A nice little bounce back right there against a pretty much, I mean, we hard countered the opponent, so that was very nice to see. Marowak into a Kanto Ninetales, a little bit deceiving because it looks like an Alolan Ninetales. They swap out the Dragonair, I come in with Dewgong, and I figured there was no way this could be a Dragon Pulse here. It seemed so quick, but apparently it was a Dragon Pulse, so I must have swapped out extremely late there to allow him to get to that move. Gonna go for the Ice Wind here, tried to undercharge, but still knocks out the Dragonair. And the opponent comes in with a Poliwrath right here. So Poliwrath, of course, if it's running Dynamic Punch, pretty problematic here. If it's running Scald plus Ice Punch actually will not be enough to KO, so that will allow me to get to one more Icy Wind right here. It is indeed the Ice Punch. Opponent swaps out into Ninetales. I make a mistake throwing this move here. There really is no reason. I mean, it doesn't hurt to throw this either because it makes the matchup that much better for Marowak. It's already a pretty good match, but actually, considering we have Pidgeot for the Poliwrath, I don't mind throwing the Icy Wind here. It's actually a bit better. The opponent is throwing a move here. I'm not going to shield this up. It's only a Weather Ball, and the opponent is actually throwing way too soon, so there's no way I'm going to shield another Weather Ball here. Just let this go through. Totally content with this. I'm actually going to undercharge the Bone Club here because I want to get some more farm. Even if they get to another move, it's only going to be a Weather Ball, which isn't going to KO, so I really don't care right here. I am going to swap out here because I'm expecting them to switch, but I actually click on the wrong Pokemon. So I give the opponent free farm, which is a huge mistake. I meant to go into Pidgeot, obviously. No point to bring in Dewgong to just catch a fast move right there. Ice Punch, I'm going to shield that up. This is a very dominant matchup for Pidgeot here. Ice Punch does not KO. I think it doesn't even do 50%. They do get to a third one right here, as you can see. And imagine if Ice Punch did one-shot the Pidgeot. giving them that free farm of the Dewgong would have ended up costing me that game. So definitely something that you don't want to do. A noob move right there. And we end up taking the game, at least in the end. So we're 2-2, hoping to clutch out the positive set right here. We see a Hypno in the lead. A pretty nice matchup for Marowak. I mean, Hypno could actually win this match, which seems a little bit insane when you think about it, because we do have the super effective Shadow Bone. But I mean, aside from Shadow Bone, that's the only thing hitting for super effective, right? So it is a lot closer of a matchup than you would think. I do call the Shadow Ball right here, and we call correctly, so that is a nice break for us. Notice the opponent actually doesn't throw a move because they were trying to catch the move onto Chansey. They did not want to get stuck in the confusion animation, which would prevent them from the attempted catch. So I like the idea there from the opponent, but it does give me free farm, and I end up banking that energy as a result. Seeing what they were trying to do right there. So Chansey here into Dewgong, we've seen it once already. Beautiful matchup for the Dewgong. This opponent's going for Hyper Beam. Not even a Hyper Beam is going to save Chansey in this situation. Icy Wind coming through again, very sped up. Swap out into the Marowak here to counter the Hypno swap. Thunder Punch comes through. I know it can't be a Shadow Ball there, that's why I did not shield. We have 2 Shadow Bones ready. Probably not expecting a shield here from the opponents, which they don't do. We have another Shadow Bone ready to go. And the opponent actually comes in with a Alolan Sandslash, which is very, very nice. I'm going to throw the Bone Club right here. Gets the shield. And now we're going to throw the Shadow Bone, which is going to be doing some really nice damage right here. Alolan Sandslash. The opponent doesn't want the smoke. 0-2 start. We finish 3-2 in that set. I'm feeling really nice about the team at this point, and I want to keep it going in the second set. So let's hop into those battles right now, sitting at 32-21. So jumping into the second set of battles right here, the Marowak lead looking pretty good so far. Of course, we haven't seen the Lapras or the Alolan Graveler, but this is a pretty bad lead to see right here. So I swap out into Dewgong, and it looks like the opponent is staying in. They're probably going to throw a Power Whip and then maybe switch out. Or there is the possibility that they do not have a good answer to Dewgong in the back, and they just stay in here with the Lickitung. Now, if they do stay in here, this is actually a winnable matchup for Dewgong in the 2 shields. So that is what I'm going to try and do here, anticipating that switch might be important. So we'll see how this plays out. Lickitung is staying in. I'll let the Power Whip go through right there. We are going to get to this Icy Wind, which will be enough to take out the Lickitung here. So let's see if they shield. They do. So now I'm going to match the shield. Don't think I could survive a Power Whip from here. Would be very close, but I didn't want to risk it. So I do shield, commit to the farm down. That means I have an Icy Wind ready to go. And they come in with Muck. So that means, again, I can't really swap out because it is another hard counter to the Alolan Marowak. So I'm just trying to get off as much damage as I can here. Opponent does a very nice job counting right there to throw on the CMP tie. Tells me they have Acid Spray, but doesn't really change anything. They're going to have Dark Pulse, of course. I come in with Pidgeot, and they bring in their own Pidgeot. Now, we're down a shield right here. I should be ahead on energy. They sneak in the moves, now we're even. I throw the Feather Dance, no shield, so I'm going to try and come in here with the Marowak, knowing that after the debuff lands, Brave Bird will not KO, and that's going to lower their defense, which means we'll be able to farm down here with Fire Spin, which means we might get to 2 Bone Clubs here before the Muck gets to their Dark Pulse. So let's see how this plays out. Bone Club comes through, the no shield. I'm going to throw another Bone Club right here. The opponent still has that Lickitung alive in the back, and they're saving the shield for the Lickitung. No, they're not. Actually, was the Lickitung was gone. Never mind, ignore what I said. I think the opponent just backed out there because they knew the game was over. There was no Lickitung. We took that Lickitung out in the lead match. 2-win lead. We take that game. Beautiful lead right here. Opponent swaps onto Nidoqueen, so I'm going to come in with the Dewgong. This is a very solid response to Nidoqueen, of course. They go for the Poison Fang. Now, it does get a little bit close because Poison Fang, of course, is lowering the defense on the Dewgong, but thankfully, the Icy Wind is helping to cancel that out. The opponent does actually burn a shield right there, which I found interesting, but of course I'm going to match because we should be able to win this. They get to another Poison Fang. It's not going to KO. I let this go through. Icy Wind gonna come through here, and this should be a no shield from the opponent here because there's pretty much no chance they could take switch there. They come back in with the Magneton. I need to keep this thing away from the Pidgeot at all costs, so I come in with the Marowak here. Don't want to use my shield yet. This will hurt, but we do survive it. They swap out into Lickitung. You love to see it. This is the kind of answer you want to see in this match right here. Pidgeot, basically a wall right here. Body slam coming through. No need to shield anything. I actually do go for the Feather Dance right here instead of going for the Brave Bird. You could win just going straight Feather Dance, so this is the safer play. They weren't in Brave Bird range either, so I don't want to lower my defense for no reason. Going to let this Body Slam come through, and the opponent might try and catch a move right here. Of course, a Pokemon like Lickitung does stall the clock, and that is what they do. Catching the move onto the Magneton. You hate to see it. I swap out into the Marowak. Get through one Fire Spin. I'm going to throw this Bone Club immediately. Can't afford to take any damage right here. Lickitung going to come back in. No point for me to throw a move here. I'm just going to go for the farm down. Able to do it. We take that game. So things are looking very nice right now. We are on a 4-game win streak, I believe, after an 0-2 start. And we see a Dewgong here in the lead. Now, I make a misplay in this match, and we're going to see it right here. So you can see I'm going to get to the Shadow Bone first, of course. Should be CMP tie on the Icy Wind. And for some reason, although I run my own Dewgong, I thought this could potentially be a Water Pulse. There's no chance it could be a Water Pulse. So I make a very poor decision there to shield the move, not counting correctly. And that could actually flip the matchup here for the Dewgong. So I'm going to throw the Shadow Bone and then swap out into my own Dewgong because I don't want to take any chances. Opponent comes with a Wigglytuff, which of course isn't a great answer to Dewgong here. So I'm happy to see this. It might be a double charm team possibly. I mean, wouldn't necessarily want to see that, but it could potentially be that. The opponent does go down there. Dewgong is still very healthy. They come back in with their own Dewgong. It is loaded on energy, so I'm going to let this move go through. It's only an Icy Wind. Going to throw our own Icy Wind here, but we do lose CMP. Of course, we have a rank 1 Dewgong, so we're going to lose CMP just about every single time. The Icy Wind coming through here. Opponent is going to swap out into Nidoqueen, so that is very weak, of course. To the Dewgong here, going to throw the Icy Wind, and you would think Pidgeot has a pretty decent matchup here against Nidoqueen, but it's not that great. Nidoqueen actually wins this in most situations. So Poison Fang comes through. The Poison Jabs are going to really add up here. And I'm going to let this go through once again. We need one more Gust to come through. And they get to another Poison Fang. So now I'm forced to burn his shield. Hate to see it, but it is what it is. I'm going to look to throw this move immediately at the Dewgong here. Let's see if they're going to shield up. They do shield. So at this point, the game is basically over. The Marowak could pretty much even farm down here, to be honest. But they're going to go for Water Pulse. I know it's coming out, so I'm going to swap out, and you love to see it. The beautifully timed catch. The opponent doesn't want the smoke. They back out of the match. We take that game. In that situation, it's just like they're so low in HP that if they let one more move go through, they're going to KO. So you know they're going to throw at that exact moment. So it's a pretty easy catch. Nothing impressive there at all. Hypno into Marowak. Opponent swaps out into Snorlax. I come in with the Pidgeot, and of course a Lick user on Pidgeot. Because Pidgeot is part normal type, it's going to be a very dominant position here for the Pidgeot. So I'm gonna let this go through here. Unfortunately, it's starting to look like I may have to shield here, especially if I'm gonna go for the Feather Dance instead of the Brave Bird. Makes more sense to go for the Brave Bird there, to be honest, because they can't really lick down anyways. So probably a mistake there, forcing me to burn a shield, but it is what it is. We're going to get a lot of farm at the very least, and we could throw this at the Hypno. So I was expecting a shield here from the Hypno, to be honest, and they do a very nice call there, and no shield that instead, and it's not going to allow me to get to the next move. So the opponent gets more farm there, they take less damage, everything went wrong. They come in with Machamp though, which I like to see here because I do not want this on the Dewgong. So Bone Club comes through, and this opponent actually does me a favor here of not building up to Rock Slide. So I figured, hey, I'm not going to shield this because that has to be a Cross Chop, right? And it is the Cross Chop. So you love to see it, throwing the Bone Club right here. And this opponent is once again not going to build up to the Rock Slide. So like this has to be another Cross Chop right here. I know shield it, and it is another Cross Chop, which means we get to the Bone Club here. You love to see it. And with Dewgong in the back, the Hypno is not going to appreciate it. Even Thunder Punch, Shadow Ball, it doesn't matter. I shield the first one, but it really makes no difference here. I shield the first one because I'm going to debuff them with Icy Wind. I figure the moves after this will do less damage, so we're going to be able to take this game right here. I believe that is 3-0 in this set, so we did clinch the positive send. This opponent right here, they didn't want the smoke. They force closed the app right here. Don't want that Dewgong ice in the face. You love to see it. We take that game. That was sped up like 5 times there at the end. So it took about a good 10 to 15 seconds for that Machamp to come back out and catch those Dewgong hands. Alolan Sandslash here. Opponent swaps out into the Shadow. Nidoqueen actually decides to throw the Bone Club here before swapping out into the Dewgong, and we do get a shield, which is very nice. Dewgong comes in here. Nidoqueen going to throw the move. It is in fact the Earth Power, but this is still a nice matchup for us here. Gonna throw this Icy Wind. If they do shield, I'll just match and farm down after. They decide to let it go instead, and they come in with Alolan Sandslash. Now, Sandslash is problematic for the Pidgeot, of course. I'm going to throw the Icy Wind right here, and they need to go for Bulldoze pretty much to KO, or I don't know what, I think it has like Gyro Ball or something. Ice Punch isn't going to KO, so that's going to allow me to get to this Water Pulse, which is actually going to do some nice damage here to the Sandslash, as you could see, and we get farmed down. So I'm going to come in with the Marowak. Opponent swaps out into the Muck. We come in with Pidgeot. And at this point, I'm thinking I just want to get rid of this Muck here. Maybe keep one shield at least for the Marowak. We should be able to win. I go for the Feather Dance right here, totally expecting the shield, but they actually no shield instead, which is kind of insane to be honest, but maybe that's their win con. And we get some lag right here. Don't know if they got free moves as a result of that. Probably not, but we did lag right there as you saw. I expected the potential Acid Spray, but it was too risky. And right here, it just smelled like Dark Pulse. Another Acid Spray bait, so the opponent Bulldoze going to win the game after the double debuff. Ice Punch. They don't have Bulldoze. The opponent doesn't want the smoke. We take that game. I'm not sure what moveset they were running, but whatever it is, it helped us to win that game. And we go 5-0. So those were the battles in the Kanto Cup featuring a team that is extremely weak to both Alolan Graveler and Lapras. Now, do I recommend running this team? Obviously, we didn't see any of those 2 Pokemon in these battles. It is a small sample size. But I think what this shows you is that if you can avoid those 2 Pokemon, this team has a lot of play. We did face some pretty hard counter lines as well, especially against Marowak, and we still pulled through some impressive wins. Swapping out Marowak maybe for something like Dragonair or even Hypno in the lead might make more sense in balancing this team out a little bit, but overall, this team did perform very well for me, and I would recommend it if you have the Pokemon available to you. If you guys enjoyed this video, please consider leaving a like, commenting, subscribe to the channel. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care.